the chairman of the board, swerving in the Ford. Game sharp like George Gervin with the sword. I ain't the one to ignore.
Eddie Hearn says Errol Spence will remain at 154 because fans have lost interest in the Terence Crawford fight. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Cardinal Red Sports. Let's talk about it. Alright, so Eddie Hearn recently gave an interview and he spoke about the potential matchup between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Bud Crawford and why he thinks Errol Spence won't be returning to the welterweight division for that matchup. Eddie Hearn gave a few interesting reasons why he thinks Errol Spence won't return. And one of those reasons was he thinks that the weight is a problem. Not only the weight, that, you know, it's funny because I've heard a lot of people say that Errol Spence looked like a skeleton when he came in for the Yordenis Ugas fight. And I don't think he looked like a skeleton. I do think he was ripped up. You know, his body looked shredded, completely shredded. I don't know exactly what Earl had to do to bring the weight down, but obviously he did a lot to bring the weight down because when people saw him, a lot of people, they voiced their opinion, and the word that they were using is that he looked like a skeleton. And to be honest, I can't agree with that. I don't think Earl looked like a skeleton. I don't feel like he came into that fight weight drained. If you watch the fight, I mean, he won pretty much every round. There were a few instances where Ugas got some good punches in, but I don't think Earl was ever in any danger in that fight. And, you know, if people feel like Earl was looking bad, you know, for that fight, he didn't look like himself, he didn't look as bulked up as he normally does at 147, then maybe it is time for him to move on to 154 and go ahead and campaign there before he has a bad incident involving weight. Now, that wasn't the only reason that Eddie Hearn mentioned about Errol Spence and him not returning to 147. What else he had to say was about the accident, and maybe that the accident is causing Errol Spence's body to do something that he's really not prepared for. Perhaps the accident is causing his body to hold water or something. Because, you know, traumatic things can change how your body functions. You know, you might fall down one day, hurt your knee, and, you know, go get surgery on your knee, and now your knee is starting to retain water, and, you know, you're getting a lot of swelling in the knee. So there could be all type of things going on. Me personally, I've been through a pretty bad car accident, so I know how those things can affect your life and the hidden injuries that can come up, you know, years later that you might not have thought that were going to come up, you know. Believe me, I know, you know, I went through an accident, and I never imagined that 5 or 6 years later that I would start having physical problems because of that accident. And I know exactly that it was the accident that caused it because of the placement of the pain. So, you know, I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Errol Spence was having some type of behind-the-scenes problem because of the accident, you know, or, you know, maybe his eye is more messed up than previously believed. You know, maybe he is, once again, his body might be retaining water, or, you know, there might be some type of muscle injury that is causing his body to spasm. You know, there's plenty of things that could be going on with Errol Spence due to that car accident. So, I mean, is he going to return to 147? Should he return to 147? Is it even worth it at this point? If you base it off the Ugas fight, I don't see any reason why Errol Spence shouldn't come back. It's not like he had a lackluster performance versus Yordenis Ugas. Once again, I believe he won every round of that fight. But if people do believe that the weight is going to be a problem for Errol Spence in the future, there's no need for him to even risk it. You might as well go ahead and move up while you have the opportunity. The one bad thing about some fighters is that they wait one fight too late to make that ultimate decision. A lot of people feel like Manny Pacquiao should have retired instead of fighting Ugas. If he would have retired instead of fighting Ugas, you know, people might still have him up on that pedestal. but instead he tried to go out like a warrior. Same thing for a lot of other fighters, Roy Jones and Muhammad Ali. The list goes on, and some guys just stayed a little too long, and I don't want that for Earl. I don't want Earl to stick around just to try to please somebody or just to try to hold on to some belts. You can tell he was frustrated by the Terence Crawford situation, because I definitely do believe he wanted that to be his last 147 fight. I haven't given up hope on that yet, because Eddie Hearn mentioned that he thinks that the Terence Crawford fight is past its prime, that fans have tuned it out. I don't think fans have tuned it out. I think fans are kind of sick of the back and forth and the negotiating tactics that both sides are using, the wording that people are using, the fact that people are making it personal. I think that's what people are really getting sick of. It's not really that they have tuned the fight out, because every day I got people talking about that fight on my YouTube channel in the comment section, and it hasn't stopped for over a year. So I won't say that the fight is past its prime. I do think that fans, once again, have hit that level to where they just want to see these two guys get it on. They want to see boxing do the right thing for once, man. I don't understand why this sport has to drag everybody through the mud just to get one fight made. And it's usually the best fight that could be made for the sport. It's the one fight that never really happens for the sport. And fans just got to sit around and wait. They compared it to the Pacquiao situation. Well, Eddie Hearn compared it to the Pacquiao situation with Mayweather. He said the difference between this fight and the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight is that Mayweather and Pacquiao were both active, and Errol Spence and Terence Crawford have both been extremely inactive, only fighting once a year, and the inactivity is what's really turning fans off. Now, I can't agree with that part. I do think that both of these guys need to be more active, and they need to be fighting the best guys out there, and anything other than that is just kind of like sideline ducking. You guys are the best two fighters in the welterweight division. There's nobody else who can even compare. If we were saying that about Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis and the 130 division, the 130 division wouldn't be considered the best division in boxing at the moment. But right now it is, and all those guys, respectively are on, different levels, but they're all the best in the division. And they're all showing improving. They're all fighting each other. I could say the same about the heavyweight division. Even though we don't get the fights exactly when we want them, most of the heavyweight fighters are fighting each other and not minding taking losses. That's the one thing I will give the 130 and the heavyweight division, is those guys don't seem to mind to take a loss. They just want to get in the ring with the best and challenge themselves. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all that down in the comment section below. Hit that like button for me. Share. Subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. More likely to get a response on the tube, so holler at me over there. If you want to collabo, hit my Gmail, flockofcards@gmail.com. And we are live in.
Look, 1 blunt, 2 blunts, 3 blunts, 4 blunts. Now I'm high in a bitch. Nigga, 1 bird, 1/5, I'm nerd. Yo, chick, now I'm high in your bitch. And I must admit, she looking real thick in that fit. Soon as you leave, I walk up, gripping her hips. Have her flipping the script, convince her to strip. You at home shooting free throws, flicking your wrist. But hold up, don't let me get ahead of myself. If you really wanna better your health, getting out of my area helps. What these young niggas carry, you melt your whole clique. She swallowed the whole dick, oh shit. Now let me slow down, cause I'm off the head bitch roll now. They didn't know, I bet they know now. I rep the hometown, Lewis Keys, nigga, let's go. Let's go, my West End niggas, let's go. My East End niggas, let's go. Louisville, let's go. Nigga, let's go. Let's go, nigga, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, yo. Yo, it's sorta like NASCAR. How these niggas take wheels off of fast cars, we not right. About to shine like dandruff and neon lights. Know you feel the shit that we on, right? I got your bitch and she's on pipe, taking pictures of herself. And if you're really slanging, you're snitching on yourself, jerk. So look at it that way. While I'm looking at your rat from the back way, then I'm looking for a black in the ashtray.